Pray that you would bless our city and bless our council, help us to have wisdom and insight. We pray that you would bless our state as well and our citizens. Amen.
Consent agenda, Mal?
Approved minutes for a regular meeting September 2nd, 2008, appropriation ordinance number 091608 in the amount of $22,418.58, and approved appropriation ordinance 91608 in the amount of $22,418.58.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Citizen comments, we have a request for open burn period. We would table that because we really don't know what the citizen requested. So, okay, we're trying to figure out when we've done it in the past.
It's usually October or November, isn't it?
It's usually later.
Yeah, usually later.
Yeah, they're dead, they're still alive now.
Maybe contact Leonard and let him give us a recommendation.
So we'll table that to next time. Is there any more citizen comments this evening? Yes, Ron?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to the council a little bit this evening. I don't know if everybody's aware of the Science Museum's Whispering Gallery project that we're working on, but it's been written up, of course, in the local newspaper, and I brought a couple copies of that. It was also written up in the Hutchinson newspaper, Great Bend newspaper, and it's been picked up as far away as South Carolina and put in the newspaper. So we're getting a lot of interest on it. I wanted to ask the council if we're still in the preliminary stages of looking where to put it and things of that nature. Obviously, we'd like to get it out somewhere on 281. The whole idea behind it is to use it as a way to bring tourists in, as well as get the kids interested in science and math. I wanted to approach the council to ask them if they had any suggestions where we can place it. Of course, we've talked a little bit about wanting to get it certainly on this side of 281 and as visible as possible from the highway. And that's one of the questions I had. One of the other questions I had is if there is any way that the city would consider helping us move those, so I don't have to completely disassemble them in order to move them and then reassemble them on site. I did approach the county commissioners a week ago and talked to them about the potential of getting some economic development funds allocated to help us with that. Basically, their response was that we don't have an economic development council or committee, and so I'm doing that as well. So I thought I'd let you folks know that they are setting up a committee to look at economic development. But I thought I'd get some of the council's ideas on location for this and get them thinking about that, and whether there would be a potential for some help with moving the dishes.
How big of an area do you guys need, Ron?
These dishes are 13 feet tall, and they'll be in an upright position. They'll only take up a small area, but the distance between them is going to have to be a minimum of 500 feet, I would say, in order to adequately display what we're doing and to be able to set what would essentially be a world's record.
Would these dishes, they would sit on the back of a flatbed truck probably, or are they very fragile, or?
They're not fragile at all. What they are is they're old satellite dishes that Golden Belt has donated to us. The ones in the paper are just a little tiny 7-footers, and what they'd actually need is a concrete base, and they attach to probably a 6-inch heavy wall piece of pipe that's in the concrete. So they would be a permanent type of structure, and they are the two that are matching dishes that we'd like to do this with are fiberglass, so they are very lightweight, but they're also extremely durable.
I'm sure we could probably get them on our truck.
So we're thinking if we just put them up onto a flatbed with all mountain
I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, that would save me an awful lot of tape. There, of course, you can break them down into sections, but that's 10 times as much work. And we really appreciate that help.
Just let us know when you want to do it. We'll help you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So is it, all I have to do
Where
is-
do you think the,
No, that's what he's saying. This is city council.
I honestly think the ideal location, because for two reasons. First off, visibility, and secondly, in order to create the type of draw we need. Obviously, the restaurant area behind Gillies is, that restaurant keeps going out of business, and we need some way to keep them in business and a draw to bring people in. And I think this would be a good way to get people off the highway and looking at it. At some point, of course, we want to put a kiosk in there and talk not only about the science behind it, but about the things that are available in St. John and draw people farther into town with it. The visibility is going to be a big thing, and the primary reason for doing it is to draw people into town. And so if we can set it up in a location that makes them come at least a block off the highway to get to them, then they're going to be much more likely to come farther into town and spend a little money here. And certainly if we can do something out by that restaurant, it'll at least make, at bare minimum, will make an impact on whoever does eventually open a restaurant there. It'll make a built-in draw for them. Obviously, we'll want to do something a little different with them when we get them set up. Maybe run a contest and have the kids present designs or paint them purple, or something. They've got to be a little more impressive than the world's largest ball of string. And in that way, I really think that we're getting enough, strangely, we're getting an awful lot of interest in it. And the little dishes, we know it'll work. We set the little dishes up twice in the town square. We were, the one time I measured it out, and we were 73 meters apart, so we were over 220 feet apart. And they work flawlessly when they're properly oriented. So the 13-foot dishes, we should be able to get tremendous amount of distance out of them. It's going to be determined more by the location than by the distance. I truly believe with the math that I've done in the calculations, we should be able to get close to a quarter of a mile with them easily. So anything from 500 feet to 1,320 feet would be acceptable, and they won't take up much room. They'll just be freestanding there, and we'll have to put a little platform next to them so people can get up to the focal point. And that's really all they'll take. They won't truly impede anybody's use of their land. And that's pretty much what I had. Do you folks have any more questions? Or?
I think it's important that you could see them from the highway.
I think it's essential that they be able to be seen from the highway. I think that's absolutely essential.
13-foot in the air, you're gonna see them a little. Let them put them on the east side of the industrial park. That's, they ain't giving nobody no get it. It's a little further than a block off the highway.
Well, that would be able
Sure
to.
get 500 foot there.
Ultimately, I really think that it would be nice to be able to put signs in and bring them all the way through town and run them back out. It's not like it hasn't been done before. And if we can get people in, we can get them to see what we've got here, what a beautiful little town we've got here, why maybe they'll come in and spend money somewhere.
Same place up at Brown Park, it's
Well, I don't know. Unobstructed, that'd be kind of tough. We've got on the west side of North Main, along the fence there, if you up by the ball field, we've got that strip of ground that runs quite a ways. We've got there's some smaller trees. We might take a look at that. That wouldn't be a bad shot, really. I mean, you would not see it from the highway, but I mean, maybe with some signage you know, I don't know, so, but I'm.
If
that
we
is
can
a
get the kind of
possibility.
media attention that we're getting already, then maybe if we can get the county to kick in some, or we can put a big sign out, we can make it something. And the nice part about it is, it's essentially free. It's just recycled stuff. It's the same stuff that the Science Museum's all about, keeping it out of the landfill. Yeah, I think that might be an excellent
That's a
spot.
fairly long shot there, I mean, like I say, so.
That would be good, because all the visiting teams go by.
Park.
Yeah, and bring people into town, through town more.
Well, and we can always just turn them a little bit towards a visiting team and listen to
There
what
you
they're
go.
doing.
Gee, but that'll take it.
I don't know if you all are familiar with the concept of the parabolic dish, but anything that goes in focuses at a single point. You'll see, when you see listening devices, the handheld listening devices that people use, they're a parabolic dish, and they're the small ones, and they have, because of the fact that it concentrates so much into a small area, they're able to pick up long distances. It's a real simple principle, but it's really, when you actually see it in action, it's rather amazing. And what the council would like, we do have the 7-foot dishes I could set up for them at any time. They take about 5 minutes to set up, and we can demonstrate it for you.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Administration, Mel?
What I have tonight, we received a letter from our insurance company that insures the power plant. And during the last inspection letter we got from them, one of the items was that they want us to go ahead and have our generator and our feeder circuit trip relays tested. The cost for this, I got with Mid-States, who does this kind of work, and their price on doing those, all our feeder circuits in town at the power plant and for generators is $3,640. So that's what they're requesting.
Who's requesting
Travelers Insurance.
Just in one time.
They're gonna probably, they haven't told me when they'll need to do it again. Most of this stuff is on some type of a schedule, maybe 3 years, 5 years, or whatever, but
what are you testing for, weakness or what?
just that they're gonna function properly. I did ask the question, what if we don't do this? And the response was, you may make yourself uninsurable.
And this is to protect the people down there switching?
Just protect the equipment. Keep just.
How long has it been since they've been tested?
A long time, so I'm just saying that, you know, we've been with this company, I don't know how many years, but, you know, they're gonna find different things at different times, and this is what they've written up this time.
What they call it, a rock and a hard place.
I move we allow Mel to do the testing.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Thank you, that's all I had.
Is there any questions for Mel this evening?
I got a citizen comment, she skipped over there after you got done.
Oh, I'm sorry about
I had a
that.
couple people visit with me last week, in regards to the ordinance that we passed the week before. The paperwork that they were sent out after the second zoning meeting had the wrong date on them. And there was a couple people pretty upset that they didn't realize that that meeting was happening because the date was like a Monday and the meeting was Wednesday, or the paperwork had Wednesday and had Monday on it. One of the two, I don't know which. I don't know, I kind of wonder if we shouldn't shoot this back so they got a chance to come bitch, if that's what they want to do.
What are you talking about, down for the?
The bioenergy / crusher
uh,
zoning that went to I-2. that we voted on last week. that you
Right,
weren't here.
but what date was wrong? The zoning
It
committee,
was sent out to them if they wanted to come to the meeting.
The second letter had the wrong date of when the meeting was.
Oh.
And I had a couple people that was pretty upset because they wanted to come to the meeting. They were at the first one, but they didn't get notification of the second. So they got it, but it was the wrong date. So I just stuck in the air.
What legally is
If you
that?
wanna revoke the ordinance again and start over.
Maybe we ought to let them come and complain to the council.
I mean,
See
basically,
if anybody.
if you revoke it and kick it back, then you're gonna basically start the process all over again.
I'm aware of that. But I just, two people, I've got to bring it up.
right, exactly.
Did they complain about annexing the property?
No, I don't think that was the issue.
So what are
I
they
don't know, they
complaining
visited
about?
with me, did a great deal, I didn't have any ground to stand on. They were just concerned that they didn't, when they would come because the paperwork was wrong.
Is there a protest period, Don?
Yeah, it's in the zoning manual, I don't remember what it is, I'd have to look at the zoning.
30 days
30 days, yeah,
after the passing of
I
the.
guess if they wanna protest what was passed, then yeah.
I think at this point, they're either gonna have to protest what was passed, or they're gonna have to come complain in order to get us to rescind it, because I think rescinding is a very serious juncture.
The only thing I would notice with the minutes of the zoning meeting that they approved would not be correct. You know, so they said, clearly stated, I was at the zoning meeting, that they sent the letters out to the people, well, but it wasn't right. You know what I mean? There were errors. Or everybody's letter wasn't the same. Maybe that's the case.
I think the people that are in question, I don't know who they are, but if they want to bring a copy of the letter to the city, we can investigate it further. I mean, we're just going on hearsay at this point. I mean, if they want to bring a copy of the letter that they received and show us what error was in it, then, we might have a factual basis to rely on. But until then, if they want to protest, then I'd probably say they need to go through the process of protest and petition. But unless you guys want to revoke it, it's up to you.
Are they protesting our meeting or the zoning board's meeting?
The zoning board meeting for
Sure.
sure.
Protesting because they didn't get to go to the meeting
Second
to
meeting.
At the
voice
zoning
their,
board.
yeah, because the information is.
Yeah, I was in both of them. I have no.
Okay, it's not a problem. Thanks. Is there any questions from Mel?
I was gonna say is Bobby, maybe you need to just relay those names to John or Mel or
Yeah, John has sent a letter to,
maybe
Is she
let
on
her
the zoning
know.
board?
she's an administrator.
Oh, John is, okay. Right. Thank you, Mel. Administration, John was not here this evening. Mel, did John have anything?
Nothing more.
Not that I'm aware of either. Fire department, Leonard isn't here this evening either. Police department, Sunny?
I have a couple items I need to discuss with you tonight. I've got a problem with one of my cars with the 2001 Crown Vic. And we've had it 7 years. And I assigned Sergeant Sailor to take it and get it checked out. And he did that. And what I presented to you there is what Fishers went and told us about the checkup on it. It's got almost 90,000 miles on it. And as you can see, he said it'd run around $5,000 to fix it. And so, if you have any questions about what it says there, well, I'll let Adam address that part, since he was the one that dealt with them. if not, I guess what we need to do is just find out what your wishes are, whether we want to fix it or whether we want to get rid of it.
Does anybody know the book value of the vehicles?
And I have maintenance, since our pickup went bad that time, well, I've got maintenance records showing that we serviced it properly. And in fact, when we first heard the tapping noise, it wasn't low on oil or nothing. We could just hear it tapping. And it just got a little worse, so that's when I had Adam take it, get it checked out. Now, we can have somebody else check it out too if we want to, but I hate to drive it up to Marmie's with it rattling like it is. I don't want to make it any worse than it is.
It was recommended by the mechanic that we do not drive it until, you know, we're very minimally. We're having to use it right now to jockey back and forth vehicles, but as far as, you know, basically on patrol, and they can't tell us exactly what's wrong with it unless they completely tear them, you know, the bottom end of the motor apart. But his guess was that there's a piston slapping or a piston rod that's or even maybe more than one that's about ready to basically just break loose. So. As far as the value of the car goes, I mean, it's 7 years old. Odometer-wise, it's got about 90,000 miles, but with a patrol car, you can usually about triple that because of idle time. The paint is chipping off on it. It's just the interior from having hours upon hours of people sitting in it. I mean, it's basically worth nothing as the way it sits right now.
We were trying to hold off until January when the new budget came out and possibly try to do something then, but we just can't afford to drive it because if we throw a rod in it or something, well, then we don't have anything to trade.
Are you looking at another car, Sonny, or pickup?
Another car. Of course, we'll take whatever the council recommends.
But you don't have any prices or,
I'm sorry?
you don't have any prices or quotes for
Oh, no.
replacements?
No, we haven't yet. I really didn't want to do that until I found out if you wanted me to go ahead and proceed with getting prices to replace it, or, I mean, there wouldn't be any need to do all that if we was going to fix it.
So that's what it's just a little hole.
I was thinking about one of them mini trucks. Say gas.
I know where there's a knot.
And what did you catch? That's all of it?
2,000 miles.
I'm not supposed to leave St. John anyway.
What speed did they go?
Huh?
What speed did they go?
60.
Sounds good to me.
Well, if you wasn't in no high-speed chases, we probably wouldn't be repairing.
I don't approve, I don't approve, and the guys know I don't approve of high-speed chases. We don't do them.
I'm just decent.
But they have to have something that can pick up pretty quick, because when they're sitting running radar, they gotta start from standing position to catch that car, and it might take them 2 or 3 miles.
And he's already speeding.
Yeah. But we don't chase cars. I mean, that has nothing but bad behind it.
No, looks like you're gonna get another car.
I can't see us putting $5,000 into this one.
No.
That's just me.
It'd be nice if you could find another Crown Vic with all your lights, everything, just bolt right on.
Lights and everything will go, it's all universal, it doesn't matter, it'll all go in any vehicle.
Oh, I wanted to come back with some.
To me, I would just as soon buy a pickup. To me, it seems like they have a little bit better resale value when you're done. I don't know, maybe.
And people that sell the pickups. I had a good buy on one right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me.
Are you thinking, try to do a lease, or
Yes,
like you've done in the past?
like we've done in the past. That gives me a chance to try to save some money out of my budget to kind of take the sting off of it. So far, up until now, I've pretty much saved, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 out of my budget each year, and that'll make one payment, you know, so.
Well, can you wait 2 weeks to bring us back some
Oh, yeah.
quotes? And
Yeah, okay, we're not gonna drive the other one, we're
Well,
gonna,
that's
like
what
he
I'm saying.
said, we're gonna use it to get an officer from one house to the other house to get the pickup. But no, that's fine,
Well, that's true, because we have that.
and it would probably take the better part of 2 weeks to, you know, to find out. I'd just like to, whatever we're gonna do, I'd just like to get started, even if it takes us a month. Well, I'd just like to get some stuff together and bring it to you.
The first is on this.
Okay. Do a car and pickup?
Well, you might as well check both,
That
Yes.
all just, yeah.
Do
See,
a car
that's
and
see
pickup.
what you,
Okay,
see what you can get.
then do it. Okay, and,
That's a-
the only other thing I have tonight is, I need 5 minutes executive session, attorney-client privilege, and council members, mayor, and, our attorney, and myself.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Call the council meeting back to order. Is there any questions for Sunny this evening? Thank you, Sunny,
You're welcome.
and the rest of the officers that came this evening. Good to see you all. Legal, Don Atmer.
I don't have anything right now.
Is there any questions for Don? Oh, okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Okay, Don, you don't have anything? Not any questions for Don? Okay, we need to do voting for the delegate registration for the League of Kansas Municipalities. I know Donna's going, Becky's going, Don won't either, but he said he wouldn't be there on Tuesday, and Jim, you're definitely not going. Okay. So, can I have a motion? To elect.
I'll move
Hey,
to
John, are you
elect,
going? Bobby?
move to elect John and Becky.
I'll second it.
Wait a minute.
There's one
I
voting
think
and
John
one
on the
alternate.
vote, yeah.
You need to name one as a designated, one as a voting.
What do you
This is two
prefer?
voting delegates.
I thought that was on the top though, doesn't she say one voting and one alternate?
That's what we usually do.
Oh, yeah,
I
one
think
delegate,
that's what we
yes,
usually
yes, yes.
So,
So make John the
Delegate,
yeah.
delegate, okay,
as I stated,
and Becky the alternate,
and Becky the alternate.
okay.
He goes the second.
John.
Yeah.
No, he was at first on the motion.
I move,
I'll second it. If you
Gotcha.
decision.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Every president, no. Okay, that's all I have. Is there any new business this evening?
adjourn.
Wait a minute, we're not done yet. So the old business.
You can do that.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.